So we'll start the new topic that is Ansible. Okay, so Ansible is quite old. Okay, and for along with Linux shell scripting. Okay, one should always have knowledge about Ansible as well. Okay, not much used in the cloud, but with respect to VMs. Okay, means on-prem VMs and all. Anyone who wants to work with on-prem VMs and all, okay, or on-prem resources, Ansible is preferred. It can be used in the mm, cloud as well. Okay, but that's what I wanted to tell. So one first we'll have to learn about IAC. Okay, so just a minute. What is IAC? IAC stands for Infrastructure as a Code. Okay, till now what we have done is we have created the VMs, okay, using that is EC2 instances using command line, okay, or using GUI, user interface. Okay, that is we are creating it manually. Okay, but instead of doing it manually, we can also do it using some coding. That I'll code something that I need two VMs, okay, with this configuration. Okay, and then will run that code and it will create that VMs for us. Okay, so that creation of VMs, and after creating the VMs, okay, whatever we want to configure, like after creating the VMs we want to configure Apache server on it, we need to edit something in some files. Okay, so that configuration we can do using infrastructure as a code. Okay, so what is infrastructure as a code? It is a method to provision and manage IT infrastructure through the use of source code rather than through using standard operating procedures and manual processes. Okay, so earlier and even now most of the sysadmins deploy the infrastructure manually. Okay, but in infrastructure as a code we'll do it everything using code, and we treat everything servers, databases, networks and other like infrastructure less software, and as we write something for creating that software, similarly for deploying the infrastructure as well we'll use some code. Okay, and using this code we can configure and deploy infrastructures very quickly and consistently. So quickly means once it is written, okay, that code can be reused again and again for creating any VM. Okay, just change the configuration and reuse that code. Okay, and consistently means uh, as a human being we can make some mistakes, right? So script will not make mistake. So what happens in infrastructure as a code? There will be a centralized server or any single server which will interact with the other servers. Other servers means suppose I have a central server, the one which is showing on the screen, code for the infrastructure, and using these servers I can deploy some other development test or production environments. Okay, that we can do using infrastructure as a code. Now we need to learn about one more term, that is configuration management. Okay, so whatever we did means in AWS we created a VM, we created a network, we created auto load balancer and all. Okay, that was provisioning. Okay, so after first time whatever we do, that is creation of VM, is provisioning, and after provisioning the infrastructure, whatever configuration changes which we do, okay, that is configuration management, and that will come under configuration management. So the first time task, that is creating a VM, okay, that will be provisioning. That is when we create a VM it also installs OS. Okay, so VM with OS will be considered as provisioning. Okay, and after that when we set the host name for the system, we change the IP addresses in this file, we configure Apache, MySQL databases, this will come under configuration management. Okay, and Ansible is configuration management tool. Okay, And we'll be learning after Ansible Terraform, and Terraform is a provisioning tool. Okay, remember this. Okay, and provisioning and config management go hand in hand, they work together. Like first we'll provision the infrastructure using Terraform. Okay, then after provisioning the infrastructure using Terraform, we'll make some configuration changes on that particular VM or a resource that will come under configuration management. So Ansible, Chef, Puppet, and SaltStack. These are very famous configuration management tool. Okay, Ansible is not the only tool, but it has some advantages. One is it is open source. Okay, all are also open source, and all also have open source and enterprise version both. Okay, so Ansible is easy to set up, easy to manage. It is easily scalable. Okay, configuration language is YML. Okay, YML, we haven't seen about it. Okay, yet YML is yet another markup language. Okay, and it supports Python, very compatible with Python. So YML, it is written in YML, and nowadays everything is done in YML. It is very easy to write. Okay, and in terms of cost also, it is not so costly when we go for enterprise versions. Okay, so Chef, Puppet, SaltStack, these are also some configuration management tools. We should be aware about the other tools as well. Okay, and Ansible, being very easy as compared to all, is preferred by all, and it is also supported by Red Hat. So Ansible is actually a Red Hat product, but open sourced. Okay, so also let's learn about some important terms. Okay, provisioning, we know whatever first time activity we do, like creating a VM is a provisioning. Okay, deployment, we haven't done any deployment yet, but suppose we want to means create an application and deploy it. Okay, so that will come under deployment. Orchestration means arranging multiple systems. So we'll be learning about Kubernetes and all, and Kubernetes manages the containers and all, so that will be considered as orchestration. Okay, so arranging or coordinating multiple system is called as orchestration. And configuration management is whatever we do after first time installation configuration for that particular resource, that will come under configuration management. Okay, now the important term is mutable and immutable infrastructure. Okay, mutable infrastructure means anything which is created, okay, and can be changed. Okay, whatever changes we want to do can be done easily. Okay, can be done easily means it is a term that we should have always immutable infrastructure. Why? In mutable infrastructures we can make the changes anytime. Okay, and when the changes are done, okay, suppose you are making any changes in a production environment, suppose you have version 1 of something and you updated version 2. Okay, so this transition from version 1 to version 2, during this transition there was some downtime because some changes were done. Okay, that is done in mutable infrastructure. But in immutable infrastructure, once it is deployed, okay, until and unless you release a new version and test it, you should not deploy it. So here also the new version was released, but it was deployed. Okay, or without releasing a new version, some changes were done on a production system. That is mutable infrastructure. Immutable means something which can never be modified once it is deployed, means after deployment it shouldn't be modified. For example, you have Ubuntu 22 version, okay, and now you in a live production environment you are upgrading it to Ubuntu version 24, okay, which is the latest one now. So that should not be done. What should be done? First, uh, get the downtime and all, and get the means don't test directly on the live server. Modify the modified version should be deployed later on. That is immutable infrastructure. Okay, and immutable infrastructure, if you make any changes, there will be some configuration drift and can result into bugs and downtime as well. In immutable infrastructure, we don't have the much downtimes. Okay, and there are no configuration drifts. Okay, so Ansible helps us in achieving an immutable infrastructure. Now the important terms, two more important terms, imperative and declarative. Okay, so imperative means will instruct a system that do something imperatively, means will give the steps that achieve this like this. Okay, do this, then do this, then do this, and achieve this. That is imperative. And with declarative, will just define that I need this, you achieve anyhow. Okay, so we'll define a desired state, and it is up to the software or the system or an automation platform to determine how to achieve that state. Okay, so that is declarative, and Ansible is declarative. That's why we are learning about these terms. Okay, now the most important terms which makes Ansible unique, that is idempotence. So what is idempotence? Suppose using any script, okay, if I try to create a file, okay, and append something into it, okay, the script will what, suppose I am writing a script that this is line number 1. Okay, if I this will be written by script. Okay, it will go to a particular directory, and it will just echo or cat, this is line number 1. Due to some reason I'll again run that script, it will append one more line, this is line number 1. Okay, so this will keep on doing until we run that script again and again. Okay, but we don't want, we always want there should be only one line, that is this is the uh, line in the script. Okay, but Ansible, what it will do, if the line is present, it will not try to append one more or overwrite it. Okay, it will just check the desired state. Okay, this is the desired state, let's not rewrite it or append anything to it, and this behavior is called as idempotence. Okay, and this is one of the drawbacks of shell scripting. That's why it is preferred that we should use Ansible. Okay. Okay, so what is Ansible? It is a configuration management tool. It is declarative. It is idempotence, and it helps us in achieving immutable infrastructure. Okay, so what it is used, mostly used for configuration management. Like first time we'll create a VM, and after creating a VM, suppose we want some tasks to be done, post installation task, like setting the IP address, setting the host name. Okay, configuring some software on it like Apache or a database. Okay, this is configuration management, and most of the times people are also using it for patching. Okay, so Ansible can be used for various things. It is also an orchestration tool for managing multiple components. Okay, so what Ansible can do? Yeah, so it can do provisioning. Okay, it can do configuration management, application deployment. Okay, security compliance. Okay, and orchestration as well. So you will be confused that uh, I said it is used for configuration management, but now we are saying that it is also used for provisioning. Okay, so Ansible can do provisioning as well, like it can also create VMs. Okay, but it is not meant for that. Okay, so one should always do provisioning using Terraform. Okay, and configuration management using Ansible. Ansible is not meant for provisioning, but suppose the company doesn't want to learn two tools, then and Terraform is new as compared to Ansible. So earlier people were using Ansible as well for provisioning. And remember, even Terraform can be used for configuration management, even though it is a provisioning tool, but it is not meant for that. Okay, Terraform is meant for only provisioning, and Ansible is meant for configuration management. Okay, so why Ansible we have learned, it is it will help us in automating and simplifying repetitive, complex and tedious operations. Okay, so it suppose we want to install a particular package, okay, on 100 systems, then we can do it at a one go instead of doing it one by one on 100 systems. Okay, so that will save time as well. Ansible is agentless. So why we are saying it agentless is, as compared to other configuration management tools like Puppet and SaltStack, okay, Chef and all, they use a client, a particular agent needs to be installed. Okay, but in Ansible that is not required, only a passwordless SSH is required. Okay, Ansible works over SSH and doesn't require any daemons, special servers or libraries to work. Okay, A command line, a text editor like vi editor, okay, that is only required to work with Ansible. That's it. Okay, and the playbooks, what are playbooks and all, we'll learn. The playbooks are written in YML language, and YML language is very human readable. Okay, without the need to write code or declaring explicit relationships. Means we do not need to write some code like C language, Java and all. It is very easy to read and write YML. And it is Ansible is written in Python, very popular programming language. Okay, that is many of the people are familiar with it. Okay, and Ansible is open source. So these are the reasons why the Ansible is preferred. Okay, as I said, Ansible is declarative and idempotent. Declarative means we can just instruct it that achieve this and it will achieve it anyhow. Idempotent means if it will not try to rewrite or append anything if it already present. Okay, and as I said, it is declarative. So one of the small example is, this is one of the code to ensure that Nginx or Apache is installed or not on a target system. So it will just do, it will just say that achieve this state. Okay, it should have Nginx present. Okay, so here we are just defining declarative that Nginx should be present. Okay, so it is up to Ansible how to check whether it's installed or not, and if it is not present, install it, and if it is present, don't touch anything. Okay, so this is Ansible is declarative. Idempotent, I gave you an example that it will not try to overwrite or append into it. Okay, so other configuration management tools are pull based. Okay, but Ansible is push based. So from a centralized server, we'll push the changes, okay, to other managed servers. Okay, so let's have an high level overview of Ansible architecture. Okay, so Ansible architecture. Okay, let's go to the next screen. Yeah, this is one of the simplest. So we'll always have a centralized server. This is ansible.example.com. Okay, this is a Ansible management server. Okay, and then these are the clients. Okay, so from the centralized server, we'll maintain an inventory. Okay, we'll maintain an inventory here on ansible.example.com. So suppose we are managing these three now servers, node 1, node 2 and node 3. So an inventory will be maintained in this ansible.example.com. Okay, so on that inventory we'll be running some playbooks. So whatever coding we do, okay, for provisioning the infrastructure, that is done using a playbook. So it's called, that coding is written in a playbook. Okay, and using that playbook will contain the details of what needs to be done on these three systems. Suppose on all these three systems I want to install Apache, so we'll have code related to installing Apache in this playbook, and access from that Ansible node, okay, the control node, to this managed nodes, not management nodes. This is also called as control node, which will be controlling, and these are managed nodes. Okay, there will be a passwordless SSH, so the automation will be very easy. Okay, so let's learn some important terms again. Inventories, as I said, here will be will having maintaining the inventory of what are the managed nodes which need to manage. Okay, playbook, as I said, it will have various code. Okay, but that is also divided into multiple tasks. Okay, so it is the playbook will consist of plays, and plays will consist of task. Okay, so what are they? We'll see that. uh, Ansible modules. Okay, Ansible modules, this is one of the important question. What are Ansible modules? Okay, or and what are Ansible modules? These are small standalone scripts or plugin that Ansible uses to perform tasks on managed nodes. Okay, so they are similar to some Linux commands only. So some of the examples of modules are, if I want to install MySQL, then I'll be using MySQL module. Okay, if I want to install something on Ubuntu, I'll be using apt module. If I want to copy some files, I'll be using file module. If I want to add some users and all, user management all, we'll use user modules. Okay, so this is how a playbook looks. So this is a complete playbook which consists of plays. Okay, so the complete plays, it will install Apache, install and start Apache. The complete playbook is play is installing and starting the Apache, and inside a play what we have task. So the first task is installing Apache. HTTPD is also, it is also called HTTPD, and starting the HTTPD service. So, okay, so task, play and playbook. Okay, now we'll start the installation after this. Okay, so again we'll have only two nodes will need in AWS. One will be ansible.example.com and others will be node. uh, I'll let you know what are the names we are giving, but one control node and other is manage node. Okay, so that's what we'll do it now. Okay, so Ansible can manage Windows host along with Linux host. Okay, Ansible can be installed on Linux only. Okay, it can be installed on Windows. Okay, but not directly using Windows subsystem Linux. Okay, that is a compatibility layer for running Linux libraries. Okay, but as of now, from what I know, only Linux is used as a control node. Windows can be managed. Okay, but in this exercise we'll be having all the Linux nodes only. Okay, so we'll need two VMs with Linux install. In this case we'll install Ubuntu 22. Okay, one node will call it as a control node or a management node, and other VMs will be control node or manage node. So don't get confused, we'll be using this term control node and manage node. Control node means the one which will be the server, and manage node means the clients which we are managing. Okay, and on Ubuntu we can use apt-get install Ansible, and on Linux we can use yum install Ansible command to install Ansible. Okay, so to end this theory for Ansible, okay, let me give you one example. Suppose we need to install HTTPD package on 100 systems. There are 100 VMs on which we need HTTPD package. Okay, and suppose it takes on a one system 5 minutes to install HTTPD. Okay, so if we do it one by one on all the systems, okay, it will take approximately 8 hours on all the 100 system. Okay, suppose if you want to do it using a script, the script will be a bit complex. Why complex? I'll just give you an example next. Okay, with Ansible playbook we can install, instead of 8 hours, in 5 minutes parallelly on all the system this HTTPD package, and with less lines of code. Okay, and as we are doing it using code, there are less chances of human error due to, as suppose a single user is installing it on all the 100 system, he may forget to install it on some systems. Okay, and while installing he may do some mistakes as well. Okay, so Ansible is error free implementation, and once we create that playbook or a code, we can reuse that for repetitive tasks. Okay, so this is how we can install HTTPD using script. Okay, installing HTTP server on multiple systems. So what we'll have to do, we'll have to write this script. Okay, it will check if HTTPD is already installed. If not, then it will if it is already installed, it will say HTTPD already installed, else it will try to do the installation. Okay, and then we have to do it on all the number of servers. Okay, so first we need to copy this script on all the 100 servers. Okay, and after copying it from a single server, we'll say that install it. So again a for loop will be used. Okay, so suppose if you see here, almost 8 lines are used. If we combine both the scripts, almost 8 lines are used. Okay, to do installation on multiple system using script. Okay, the same can be done, okay, using ad hoc command, or you can say an imperative command, single line. Ansible all on all the Linux systems, on all the hosts. Okay, an inventory file will be there. Just install HTTPD. That also it will ensure if HTTPD is present or not, only using this single line instead of those 8 lines. This is an ad hoc command. Okay, ad hoc command means the same can be using command or a playbook. And even in a playbook, only 3 lines are there, or at max 4 lines, and that is very easy. See, on Apache host, just check if HTTPD is installed or not. Okay, this is how easy Ansible is. Okay, so inventory file, as I said, Ansible inventory file will have multiple hosts inside that particular inventory file. It will be the IP addresses or host name of the servers which we want to manage. Okay, and the inventory file can also be a static or a dynamic. Static means we'll manually add something into it. IP address, this is the group of servers, this is the IP address. Okay, and dynamic and IP address can be used in terms of cloud and all, where we can dynamically get the inventory, but as of now this is not required. We'll be using a static inventory only. Okay, for dynamic inventory we'll need plugins and all. Okay, and example of Ansible module is ping is one of the modules. So ping is command, so most of the commands are modules in Ansible. Okay, so this is one of the ping module which will ping, it will check the connectivity using ping. Okay, then the command module, okay, which will run command on a remote host. Okay, then we have installation module, yum module, this is -m yum. Okay, example of a static inventory file, this is static inventory file wherein we have web. Okay, web is one of the group, the 2 servers are in this group. Okay, so when we'll use the Ansible playbook, there will define that on this web group install this, on DB group install this. Okay, on load balancer group install this. Okay, and there is a concept of children in inventory file. This is one of the interview questions, even I ask it, that what is children in inventory file. So if you see, I'm just defining a group called dev, and it has 2 children, web and DB. So instead of saying install it on web or DB group or 1 by 1 servers, I'll say on this group web and DB both, that is 1, 2 and 3, all these servers run the script. Okay, so dev children, the dev is a group which has 2 children, web and DB. Okay, this is example of a static inventory file, and this is an example of dynamic inventory file, and this get dynamically generated. So we'll concentrate more on the static one. Okay, so how we run a playbook, we'll create an inventory file. This is the inventory file. Okay, this one, same one it is. This is the group of name of the group. Okay, which has 100 servers. All the 100 servers details will have it here. Okay, and while running the playbook, we'll be using command Ansible playbook -i host.ini inventory file name and the playbook. Okay, we'll learn that, and this is one of the sample playbooks. So it will always have first part common. Most of the script will have first common. Here we'll define your group of servers, this inventory. Okay, this inventory. So web is one of the group, DB is one of the other group. So on this group, so suppose on this group, okay, become yes, what is the become yes, I'll explain. Perform this task. What are the 2 tasks? Okay, update the cache, that is equivalent to yum update, which we always do. No, apt get update in terms of apt, and perform system upgrade. So this is used for patching for Ubuntu, and this is used for patching for Linux.